years ago when I finally got hold of my Vita, just like so many other owners of the system, I was always excited to see what new games are available each month as part of the PlayStation Plus service. 9 out of 10 of those games would be bloody awesome indie games, which made owning the system completely worthwhile. And Steamworld Dig was easily one of the very best games I played on it. So much so that not only did I complete the game several times over, but I even started up saves on both the PlayStation 4 and PC versions too. Steamworld Dig is just so good, as are the rest of the games in the series, but most definitely this one. So, as you could imagine, when I heard about a sequel being made towards the beginning of 2017, for the Nintendo Switch nonetheless, I was so excited that I just had to reach out to the developers, who thankfully gave me a review copy. Ah, ain't they lovely? Anyway, after playing the game a lot, how does it compare to my beloved original? Well, it's probably better. If you've never played either of the Steamworld Dig games before, or are thinking about getting this one but don't really know what sort of games they are, the best way to probably explain them is imagine if you smashed Dig Dug with Super Metroid and set it in a more colourful Oddworld type universe. This game is the love child of that, which just so happens to be some of my favourites. In the first game, you play as Rusty, and in this game, you play as Dorothy and her unlikely assistant Fen, who for whatever reason are in search of the now missing original Steamworld Dig mascot. Just like the last game, you start off with nothing more than a simple pickaxe which you use to dig away certain shaded blocks. It takes a couple of hits each time you hit the majority of the blocks, and eventually you encounter a few easy enemies. You grab some gold or jewels, make your way back up, sell it and buy a stronger pickaxe, or expand your backpack slots, make your lights shine brighter for longer, boost your energy, basically just do whatever you need to do in the way that only you would play it to go deeper into the caves where the blocks and the enemies get a whole lot harder the further you go. Thankfully, as you make your way down, just like the first game, you find what are essentially warp pipes which help you shoot to different parts of the map, which, by the way, is huge compared to the original. Sometimes, however, upgrading your weapons isn't enough, and you need to make the choice of continuing to find every single gem or hidden passageway, sell more and buy more upgrades, or you can actually continue with the story and, just like any good Metroidvania game, gain new abilities such as running faster to get over quickly disintegrating rocks, or rocket boots to get to higher ledges, which, by the way, are also upgradable. Okay, sure, all of this sounds just like the first so far, albeit on a much larger scale, but you quickly realise when playing the sequel that there are so many more hidden areas and sections available this time round. So many more places to make you stop, make a mental note, upgrade and come back. The game just feels so much more complete this time round, so much bigger and a lot more complex, which in the most part is great if you're a gamer like me. I personally love to go exploring for every possible secret, and when I go back now and play that original, it's still a great game, sure, but it's just a lot more simpler, compact and almost linear compared to this one. One of my new favourite additions to the game is the Cog Upgrades. They're harder to find on the most part than the majority of other gems and crystals, but when you get a few, you can add some pretty cool special abilities to the majority of your inventory. Like for instance, boosting the chance of collecting 2 gems when breaking a rock, or gaining more light when you kill an enemy. And finally, on top of this, the actual story in the game is really good too, and although there may be a tad too much back and forth text for my liking in the first 15 minutes or so of the game, it quickly shuts up and just lets you get on with the game, only popping up in very short intervals, mainly when you sell your goods. And there are a couple of times in the story when you go really deep into the caves, and the dialogue between the two characters actually gets you quite nervous about what could possibly be ahead. And when you eventually do, the game does some pretty clever stuff to mess with you. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but I will say that on a few instances the game made me wish I could experience it again for the first ever time. And when you get to those sections, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If I was going to say anything negative about the game, it would really be me scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like for instance, in the original, when you collected water, the small pools of water would drain. Not in this one. When you die in either of the games, you lose half your collected gems, but in the original, you need to go back and find them. Not in this one. In my opinion, these two changes made the original a tad more worrying when you perhaps went too deep into the caves, which I was a big fan of. But like I said, these are really just nitpicks, as the new additions added fully outweigh these strange design choices. So, in review, should you get the game? Absolutely. It's coming out for pretty much everything, including the Vita. And although I do suggest you go back and play the original first, pretty much only for the story, it's really not an issue if you jump straight into this one. For me, it's one of the best new indie games I've played in a very long time, and a game that I plan to replay a lot. In fact, I'm already starting my second save of the game on the Switch. Steamworld Dig 2 is easily a high contender for Slopes Game Room's Game of the Year. Oh, and by the way, before you go, there is a chance for a Steamworld Complete History. As you may have guessed, I love the franchise, and Image and Form Games have pretty much completely focused on expanding this world, and they've let me into the creation of this awesome universe. However, it's pretty different than the retro games I normally do, so let me know in the comments section or by clicking the card above if you would like to see this happen. Hey there guys, thanks for checking out the Steamworld Dig 2 review. Obviously I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons, with a special shout out going to Matthew Ritter, Ryan Burford, Phil Lowlins, Ian A. Chapman, Creamy Elephant, James Loveridge, Casey Garner, Blitz, Hedgie, Ben Hall, Taylor Almond, Sin Killer J, Takikawa and Tiago Piera dos Santos Silva. If you want to be part of this Patreon list, get your name shouted out, get your name shown, see exclusive stuff, share your content on the Discord channel and plenty of other exclusive Slopes Game Room stuff, then please click the link that you see on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, chuck it all over social media, yada yada yada, you know what to do. But for now, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.